Hi everybody, it's Mr. Spudik once again, and today I want to work on Illustrator and see how to create a logo that is near and dear to my heart. It's the Accuweather logo. I don't know why, but I like the Accuweather logo. Maybe I like Accuweather, and maybe I want to know the weather a lot, but here's the idea. Here's the logo right here. I like that logo. I don't know why. So that's what we're going to work on, and we're going to learn how to use the Pathfinder tool and try to recreate it, and the rotate tool in Illustrator to do that. So that's what we're going to do right now. Okay, so here's what we got. I'm on my website, and I just went to Accuweather.com, and there's that logo. And I'm going to take this logo and download it just so I can take the colors and kind of match up stuff. So I right-click and say Save Image As, and I'm going to go to the desktop area, and I'm going to say Accuweather right there. And it's actually an SVG image, which is funny because that's the actual, that it is the vector file already. But obviously we don't want to steal anything. I'm just trying to practice and learn from it. So I'm going to click Accuweather, or I'm going to click Save and save it to my Accuweather, or save it to my desktop. So now let's go to Illustrator. All right, and inside Illustrator, I'm going to create a new Illustrator file. It really doesn't matter what the size is because it's a vector. So it's going to be resized whenever we want later. But I'm going to just do I don't know, 4 inches by 4 inches makes sense for me. Just a good general area. That's usually the shape of the general shape that I have for like pocket logos for shirts and stuff like that. So I say 4 by 4, and I can do CMY color. I can do RGB. I don't really care. We'll do CMY color or CMYK. And there we go. So I got my white space. Now, let's look at that picture because it is, it's, I don't know, I think it's kind of interesting. So I'm going to open it up with Illustrator. And there it is, really small. Make it a little bit bigger here. I'm taking my magnifying glass and zooming it up. And this is what I noticed. At first when I looked at it, I thought it was a bunch of triangles. But then I messed around with triangles. It didn't work right. So what I realize after is this is just a bunch of squares. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's a square here, one square there. There's another square there. Okay, I didn't really move my cursor around that well. There's another square there. It's really just 3 squares rotated because this square then turns into that one over there. Does that make sense? So all I have are 1 square, 2 squares, 3 squares, and then I get back to there. So let's try that out. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to make a square. So I'm going to go to my shape tool. I don't see it right. I'm going to click and hold, and then I get to the rectangle tool. So I am just going to create my square. Now, if I don't hold the shift, I make an ellipse. If I hold the shift, I make a square. So that's what I need right there. It doesn't really matter the size. I'll just put it right just like that. And I'll just maybe center it a little bit in my paper. It doesn't really matter. Now, let's try the rotate tool. So I'm going to take the rotate tool right here, and I am just going to hit enter. Now, how many times am I going to have to rotate it? Well, let's think about it. It goes from this point, and in fact, let's get it at least these points up here first. So let's try that first. So I'm going to go here again. That's not the rotate. That's a rotate. I'm going to select my tool, hit the rotate, and I need to turn it 45 degrees to get the point at the top. So I hit enter, and I'm just going to type in 45 degrees. There we go. Oh, and see, it's a little bit too big, so I don't care. I'll just leave it. We'll fix it later. We'll make the canvas bigger. We'll make the whole thing smaller later. Okay, so that is the pointy part of my sun. All right. Now I want to rotate it over 1 to get to that, and then I have to rotate it over another time. So all I need to do, if you really think about it, it's going to be dividing by 3 because this point has to go here to there. That will create the 90, or that will get you any further and you get it to 90 degrees. So I just have to go 30 degrees. Let's see how that works. So if I have this here, I'm going to click on my rotate tool again and just hit enter. But this time, instead of doing 45 degrees and just hit enter, I'm going to do 30. I'm going to do copy, and there it is there. Okay, so I've made a copy of that square. Let's do it again. Enter, copy, 30 degrees, and there we go there. It might be hard to see, but can you see that we have already started to create that star, that sun? So that's what it looks like. So now we're going to use the tool in the Pathfinder to merge these into a new star. So watch this. If you don't see it here, so it all depends on what you got to open if you can find the Pathfinder. It depends. You might be stuck on something crazy. Essentials, Essentials Classic. Doesn't really matter. You can create your own workspace. I'm not going to teach how to do that right now. Okay? But wherever you are at, so let's go to one where I don't have it. I don't have anything there in Essentials. Well, let me do another one. That one works. I don't have my Pathfinder tools in Essentials. You just go to Window and you find what you need, and I want Pathfinder. It opens up, but I can just drag it over into the side. Okay? So there it is right there. Now, let's do the first thing. I want to merge all these shapes into one and see if I make my star. So I'm going to just click and highlight all of these, just like that. Okay? Now I'm going to go to the Pathfinder and I'm going to click merge. Look at that. I made my sun. I'm proud of myself already. Okay, so now let's do the next thing. I want to steal the color. Let's just flat out steal that color and work with that color so I can match up the color the same way it is from the website. So what I'm going to do, I have it over here, okay? But let me just place the image in here. So I'm going to go place, go to my desktop where I know it is. Okay, it was there too. And I'm just going to place it off to the side over here. There it is. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to select this shape. And it's funny, I'd say the Eyedropper Tool, I'm still struggling with Eyedropper Tool in Illustrator because it's almost, it feels like it's the opposite of what we do in Photoshop. Okay? If you're new to both, then hey, you'll be fine. But they kind of work differently to me. So I have the object I'm interested in recoloring. And I have the object over here that is the color I want to steal. So I'm going to the Eyedropper Tool and I am going to click directly on that image. Boom. Okay. There are other ways to do the Eyedropper Tool, and again, I'm still kind of learning with it, but that's my best way to do it right there. Okay, so there we go. Now I can get rid of well, let's keep the sun there just as a reference. We're going to do Pathfinder again because I want to get those circles in here. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, and I'm just doing Command and minus, or if you had a PC, Control minus to zoom out to whatever you need. Okay, now I'm going to make a circle. Same thing with a circle. So I'm going to click and hold to get to the ellipse tool. So I clicked and held, and I got to the ellipse tool there. Okay, now if I did not hold down the shift, I would make any ellipse I wanted. If I hold down the shift, now I make a circle. Okay, so I'm not even going to mess with this color. I'm going to do a different color here, just so we don't get confused with what we already have. Whoops, I didn't want to do another one. Delete it. Okay, so I have my circle here. I'm just going to get this one sized up to the way I want it to. Okay, I'm going to get to the center of that other circle in there, and I'm going to hold down the shift again. I'm holding this up, okay, while somebody tries to spam call me. Hold this one down here as well. I think those edges, they're pretty close. I think maybe a little bit bigger. There. And There, I want it kind of in the center. Now, if you're not sure if it matches up with the centers, remember you can always go to my view and change it to outline. Okay, and you can kind of line up from here. You can look at the center of the circle compared to the center of the star, and I got it all centered up. That looks good. Now, I am going to make another copy of it and make this one smaller. So I'm going to go back and go to preview. All right, I'm going to move this a little bit over here just to get it out of the way. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this to a different color because I want to show the different things. So I'm going to copy it, paste it. All right, there's my two. And I'm just going to make one a little bit smaller than the other, just a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to change the color so we see they're two different colors. There we go. All right, now I get this thing centered. All right, if I wasn't sure about the alignment, I have these transform tools off to the side. Look what I do. I got them highlighted and I have align and I can align them. So what if I had it a little bit off? Let's try it again. Move this off to the side like that. Okay, I can highlight both and click align. All right, and I can hit the center that way and that way. They already were aligned in the vertical way. And there we go. All right, now here we go. I am going to merge this. This time what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pink, and the pink circle is going to be what I take away from the black circle, leaving me just a ring. So I have these two images. I highlight both of them. I go to my Pathfinder, and this time I'm just going to minus the front, just like that. So now I just have one new object that's a ring. Okay, so it took that object, subtracted away the front, and created a new object for me. Let's do the same thing now on our sun. Okay, so I'm going to line it up again. And so again, I can just do my alignment with selecting the two objects, just like that. All right, click align, align it vertically, align it horizontally. All right, that works for me. And now it's all good and centered up. And this time again, I'm going to click this and do the minus front, and it's going to take the black, and that's going to subtract away from the orange. It didn't work that time, right? So now let's hold down the Option and do the same thing. And there we go. Now we have a new object, right? I can drag it around. This is one new shape in Photoshop or in Illustrator that is made up of all those other shapes, the circles, the squares, and all that stuff. And I've just created my new logo that I don't know why, but I like the Accuweather logo that much. Okay? All right, thanks for watching.